Hey everybody, welcome to Cozy Moon Podcast.
Where
we have fun.
Talking about
Parenting.
I'm Anya.
Say Ari.
Ari.
This is Ari, and I'm Mommy Shan. Let's start the show.
Yeah.
Stop! There's more.
Stop. There's more.
More. Well. Here we are at the end of my rope. I tried to hold out for another possibility. If one acted correctly, but that's out. So I am becoming one with the idea of just having 2 kids, let alone having 2 girls back to back. They are 3 years in difference of age, but it's still a lot. Like, I'm a single mom. It's still a lot. Their dads are within a wide receiver's reach of contact most of the time. And, they have that relationship. Hopefully over time it gets a bit better, but I think I'm okay with 2. Even if a new relationship comes about or something serious, he will have to be comfortable with a few things. And when you think about a woman's body, when you think about what goes into raising kids, when you think about the whole Tubal ligation, surgery and all of that, I'm going to get into it because I've spent months thinking about it. Last year I was supposed to do it and I didn't. Taking a chance on something that turned out to be nothing. So here I am, and I just feel like if a relationship for me, in all seriousness, did come about in my future, because I have thought about it, I think he would have to be okay with, 1, helping to raise my children if he doesn't have his own after marriage, because I don't believe in people you meet or people you date, helping to raise kids that aren't theirs, because that's a sticky situation when you really don't have any real ties to someone being there consistently. You don't want your kids to develop that relationship and them being around is a super question mark. So it would definitely have to be after marriage. 2, possibly him having his own children from previous relationships. That's fine. I'm open to that, especially if his child or children are boys. Completely open to that. I am also open to someone always wanting a family, but for them it doesn't necessarily need to be biological children. Completely open to it. My whole thing about that is when I'm in my 40s, I actually want to, still raise my preteen and my teenagers, but at the same time, I want to be able to give my relationship with someone that I want to grow old with, that, consistency, that dedication, that effort, that, dating, engaging thing. I don't want the kids to be in the middle of us and he's all the way down at the long end of the table and I'm all the way at the opposite end. I don't want that. So I think 32 is a good age to stop. Next year I'll be 33. In my head, I've always said 35, but to me, I feel like that's kind of too late because that will plant me right at 40 with like a 4.5, 5-year-old, and that's not the business. So, so that's the plan. When it comes to kids, they are expensive, they are demanding, and they always deserve better because, 1, your children never asked to be here. Children are definitely blessings. Not everyone can have them. Not everyone can conceive. Not everyone can become pregnant. Not everyone makes it out of that delivery room with their children. Sometimes the child makes it out of the delivery room. Sometimes only a mother makes it out of the delivery room. Sometimes people lose their babies with miscarriages. Sometimes people give birth to stillborns. Sometimes you can lose a mother and a child in that delivery room. So being pregnant is scary because you always feel like glass driving around, avoiding possible accidents, avoiding wet floors, avoiding certain foods, trying to be healthy for yourself and for a child that you haven't even met yet. You don't even know what the name would be. You don't even know if it's a boy or a girl. You just don't know nothing, and you're just walking around here with a whole human being growing and surviving within you. Like, that's a scary place to be. It's also very scary to go through labor in today, where lots of moms have horrible labor stories, and some moms have great labor stories. It just depends. When it comes to women like myself, quote unquote African American women, especially in Georgia, the percentage of women that die in a delivery room is very high. The percentage of Black women, brown women, minority women in a delivery room in Georgia having horrible labor stories is very high because, I don't know, we're just not treated with the utmost of respect and space to really discuss and have a doctor that understands, hey, this is what's happening. So it's a whole, world of mess to be pregnant as a brown-skinned woman living in Georgia, or having a baby in Georgia, or let alone having a baby in general, or in America, or wherever you are. It's a very scary thing, and I definitely feel like I've been blessed to have 2 healthy babies, vaginal deliveries, very drugged up. I'm not one of those women that's anti-drugs. I love drugs, okay? Especially when it comes to pain. And I'm not cut out to have a baby naturally. That's just something I'm not going to do. I don't even naturally go through my period cramps. I drug up, okay? That's how I stay happy. And they are healthy, and they're smart, and they're witty, and they're beautiful, and I love my kids, but I don't have it in me for another one. I just don't. Let's talk about how kids are expensive. Kids are expensive because sometimes they want dogs and cats to add to the household. Sometimes they want to play an instrument in school. That's expensive. Going to, different shows when they play instruments is expensive. The responsibility of having an instrument is expensive. Always having to buy them dressy clothes is expensive. It's time consuming. You have to get off of work at a certain time to go to their shows. You have to be off of work, or your weekends that you want to sleep in, you have to get up at 6 a.m. to go to certain games. If they play sports, if they do ballet, if they're in gymnastics. Your whole piece of having a weekend, that is gone when you have kids. They wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning for no apparent reason, and they put their eyelids on yours to wake you up and tell you the whole rundown menu of what they want to eat for breakfast at 7 a.m. on a Saturday or a Sunday morning. You no longer exist slightly ever in your household as far as the needs you have, unless you are really strict on them never coming in your room, unless you're really strict on the usage of your television, unless you're really strict on devices, them leaving their room, them being in the kitchen. It's hard, okay? Sometimes I do hide the remotes for my sanity. Kids are expensive to feed because they always can eat. When you want to get a small snack from somewhere, you could never get a small snack. It's like Oh, you wanted to go to this restaurant and just get this? Well, now you gotta buy 2 more. Now you gotta buy 2 more sandwiches. Now you gotta buy 2 more plates. Now you gotta buy 2 more meals. Now you gotta buy 2 more drinks. Like, it's like, dang. If I could only figure out a way to take myself to lunch before I did my children so I could just buy myself something because I know they already ate. It's very expensive. School fees. Oh my God. Expensive. When you want a snack and they want a snack at the same time just because you have a snack. When I tell you yesterday, Aria and Anya jumped me for my crab chips. And I had to hide my chips. And Ari was banging down my room door for my crab chips. It's very ridiculous, okay? Kids are demanding. In what way do you ask? Well, let me tell you. Kids demand your time. They demand your brain work after you work, a whole shift for the last 10 hours. Homework, field trips, uniforms, projects, supplies. Constantly losing their pencils. I don't know if they're eating them or using them at school. They want to travel. You got to pay for extra tickets for half of a human being. Daycare is very expensive. Camp is very expensive. Kids want to do fun stuff. Obviously, your home is just not cutting it for them. The park is just not cutting it for them sometimes. Sick kids cost you money. Like, now I have a full understanding of why my parents hated when we would get sick, because that means one of them would have to stay home, one of them would have to take us to the doctor, one of them would have to make sure they gave us their medicine. So your time to get medicine is their time to get up and get the medicine. Like, it's a whole irritating process, but you just know at the end of the day, you can't tag anybody else in to do it. You have to do it. Your home space sometimes becomes not good enough for your children as they grow. So you have to look into getting a bigger home, a bigger backyard, more space in the kitchen, more space for them to have their own rooms when they start getting super opinionated. I'm sorry, but I have a 2-year-old and I have a 6-year-old that's very opinionated. Then they are very emotional. Sometimes you don't even know where the emotions are coming from. So they might be screaming and you turn around and you scream at them for them screaming at you. And the other one screams because they can't be heard because somebody has a question. It's madness, okay? It's madness. Not every day is a great day. Not every day is a bad day. But every day is a day, okay? Then you have the conundrum of morning drop-offs and rush pickups. When I tell you, that makes me so anxious because I'm always worried if a kid is going to leap out in the street or the parking lot. I get so frustrated when parents don't pay attention in the school zone. I get so irritated when people do the speed limit or don't do the speed limit or try to cut across a shortcut in the parking lot and then they're blocking traffic or they won't get over in the lane. It's very annoying. I hate pickups and drop-offs of children, especially being the one that's doing it. And sometimes, more than likely, the people that are really cheering you on to have some more children are the people that have a nanny to go do pickups and drop-offs and laundry and running errands and cleaning the car and taking the child back and forth from the doctors. They really don't take on the responsibility of what it is to do it yourself as a parent. So just be mindful of the people who have nannies that don't really take on everything as a parent, that really want to cheer you on you having some more. You have more kids when you feel like you need to have more kids. But if you obviously mentally, emotionally, and physically and financially cannot take on more kids, don't ever feel obligated or pressured into having more kids because the quote-unquote, the Lord gave you a womb and as a woman you must X, Y, and Z. No, not every woman is meant to be a mother. Not every woman is meant to parent, and not every woman can mother or parent. Not everybody is built for this. This is the ultimate challenge, okay? Kids deserve better. What do I mean by that? Kids deserve better schools, than you had, possibly. They deserve clothing that's good, warm, clean. They deserve good opportunities. They deserve a better home. They deserve better environments to grow up in and flourish in. They also deserve the opportunity to explore other environments so they don't think one-sided. They deserve better treatment than you had growing up. All the things that you felt as a child you didn't get and you wish you had, you should be one of those parents that want to give that to their children. That is how you get a better generation and a better generation and a better generation. Because sometimes adults do miss the small details that really matter, that help kids develop into adults. And if you are missing key factors that help you become a better individual as an adult, as a child, you're going to end up training or raising your child without those key elements that you need. And with being a parent, you constantly have to be learning. You constantly have to be open to a better way. You constantly have to be open to better criticism of you becoming a better parent. And sometimes that's not going to come from your family. Sometimes that's not going to come from your friends. Sometimes it's going to come from a complete stranger. And you have to, think about, why are you taking it as something offensive? And is it actually something, honestly, I need to work on? Okay? Kids deserve therapy if you don't know how to talk to them or be better, or maybe a whole family needs to go to therapy. Kids deserve good health insurance because a child's health is a man and a woman's wealth as they get older. You want to make sure your child grows in a healthy way. Now, let's get to the good stuff. What happens when you tie your tubes? Cool. Let's talk about it. Tubal ligation is basically your fallopian tubes are cut or blocked. The eggs released by your ovaries in a woman each cycle will not make it to the uterus train. Therefore, no sperm will be fertilized by me to prosper. Can I get an amen? Meaning 99% effective. 1 out of 200 women get pregnant still after they get their tubes tied. Okay? So unless these eggs are acrobats, I doubt a child will come out of me after me getting my tubes tied. Now, my OBGYN, she ties the tubes and she burns them. They call that a cauterize, I think that's how you say it, or numbing of your tubes. So, you can request to be put to sleep. That will be me. I do not want to be awake during this. Sterilization can have some risk, just like any other minor surgery or surgery in general. Some companies pay for you to cease and desist these kids, honey, okay? So always check with the company that you work for to see if they'll go ahead and cover automatically all the cost of you getting your tubes tied. Sometimes it can cost between $0 to $6,000 depending on where you get your tubes tied. So research that. Now, can fallopian tubes grow back? Yes. God is an amazing individual, okay? You could have a full-term pregnancy after you got your tubes tied, because the Lord is just amazing. He just does things. If he really wants you to have a child, you will have a child. That is just how that works. So hopefully no fallopian tube tied against him shall not be knotted or shall be knotted, because if he wants you to have children, you will have a child. That is just how that works. Now, they say tying your tubes may lower your chances of ovarian cancer. How true that is, I don't know. Some women go ham in the I don't want kids zone, and they go ahead and get a hysterectomy. So what a hysterectomy is, removing your uterus and your ovaries which prompts immediate menopause. So if you're ready to say hello, hot flashes, go ahead. Go ahead and just take out the whole engine out of there. Take the uterus and take the ovaries if that's something that you want to do. That's on you, though. That's a choice you make. Not anyone. That's a choice you make, okay? Now, if you're like me, you're possibly wondering what happens to you after you get your tubes, after you tie your tubes, okay? So, basically, you may experience pain that meds cannot help, okay? Which is scary, because I hate pain. Vomiting, nausea, dizziness, a fever, swelling, which I mean, you're all the way in me, like, of course. Drainage. It does not affect any hormones, thank God, because I'm already a Gemini. We don't need any more moodiness. It takes 1 to 3 weeks to recover. So it is usually ideal to do after you have a baby. I remember after having Ari, my doctor asked me if I wanted to go ahead and get my tubes tied, and I told her yes. And then I think 2 days before I was supposed to do it, I told her, no, I don't want to do it. Why? Because I'm stupid. And so, yeah, so that's how that went. But this year, coming year, 2020, we have a date, okay? We are planning this thing. I might even throw me a celebration party on top of these tubes being tied. You know when they say, did you tie the knot? I'm going to tie the knot, honey. Not with marriage, but with my tubes. Periods are definitely going to be the same. Some women experience fewer days of having a period and a lot of flow. All right. And what I'm looking forward to is a peace of mind after or during having sex. And I'm not saying that you can just be with whoever and everything's going to be great. No, you should still be mindful of who you do, have relations with. Yes. Wear a condom. Be safe about it. Be smart about it. Be particular about who you do that with. But the peace of mind that I'm going to have over the odds of 1 in 200 women possibly still having a child after getting their tubes tied, it's going to be peace, okay? It's going to be like Disney on Ice, honey. And I'm not even skating. Now, in pregnancy nightmare news, you can possibly have a ectopic pregnancy. What that is I hope this happens to no one, but from what I've read, this can happen. So basically, a baby can grow in your fallopian tubes instead of your uterus. Now, if you get a hysterectomy and you remove the uterus, this won't happen. But I don't think I'm just going to go in there and clean up shop. I think I'm just going to get my tubes tied and burned. So, hopefully, I'm not the 1 in 200 women. We're going to knock on wood. We're knocking on wood that I am not that. So, that is my jits on my gift to myself in 2020. If you are a woman out there and you just know up and down, crisscross applesauce, that you do not want women, you do not want children, cool, go ahead and do that. If you get into relationships and you think it's moving to a rate of possibly being something serious, please let the person know that your tubes are tied. Please let the person know that you do not want children. Please let them know that. Okay? Because sometimes that could be a deal breaker for some people. Men or women. So just really be honest about that. Be upfront about that. If you have children and you are dating and you think it's getting more serious and you think they possibly want kids, let them know that with me comes just the ones I have already. There is no more. there will be no more children. Are you okay with that? Yay or nay? And I think men need to honestly give women the yay or nay on that. Don't continue to be in a relationship where you know deep down you really want children. And that's fine if you really want children, your own biological children, and her children previously would not do that. Is fine. But you need to let that woman know that that's what you want. And that's what you need. And that's fine. I understand that it's just going to be a little bit harder for me to find someone that's okay with the children I already have if they don't already have their own children. But hopefully I find someone that has their own children previously and doesn't want any more children, and I don't want any more children, and I have my own children, and we can just be merry. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Be merry. But that's my jits on that. I think tying the knot, meaning tying the tubes, is going to be good for me. Freedom. Like, I'm not saying I don't want to be a mother. I'm going to be a mother for the rest of my dying days, okay? I'm being a mother, being a father is forever, okay? Even when your children pass on, you are that. Even if I get married or don't get married, I am a mother, so it's forever. But I'm 2 and done, okay? 2 and done and check out. I will not be my mother, 5 children, 4 boys, 1 girl. Like, no ma'am, we're not doing that. My name is Shannon. I'm just keeping it honest for my parents out there, for my mothers out there, for my women out there that were thinking about it. If you've come to agreement with yourself and your mind and your soul that kids are not it, that is okay. You can always find someone with children and work that thing out. Thank you guys for listening, and you guys have a great holiday. This is the last week before the actual holiday of Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas. If you do not celebrate Christmas, celebrate another year with great friends, great family, and great memories, and have like a adult game night, or just come over for drinks and a movie. And if you are invited somewhere, bring something, okay? Don't come empty-handed. Enjoy your season and be safe. Bye.